Imagine walking past a millionaire. Would you even notice? Probably not, because one of the biggest myths about wealth is that rich people look rich. Many don't. In fact, some of the wealthiest people in the world spend a surprising amount of effort making sure nobody knows how much money they have. No flashy cars, no giant logos, no public display of wealth, and here's the strange part, the more money people have, the less they often feel the need to prove it. So why hide something most people desperately want to show? The answer reveals a fascinating truth about wealth, status, and the human brain. Let's start with something concrete. One of the richest investors in American history drove the same modest car for years. Not because he couldn't afford better, because he didn't need anyone to know. A tech billionaire wore the same plain gray t-shirt almost every day, not a fashion choice. A deliberate decision to remove status signals from his appearance entirely. And one of the world's most famous business leaders wore cargo shorts to billion-dollar meetings. This isn't accidental, this is a pattern. And the people living it have a name for it. They call it stealth wealth. Here's something a private banker in Singapore once said about his wealthiest clients. He said, "The most impressive thing you can wear is something expensive that nobody recognizes." Let that land for a second. Not something that turns heads, something that only people who already know would ever notice. That's a completely different relationship with status than most people have. There are actually several distinct reasons why truly wealthy people hide their wealth, and they're more practical than you might think. The first reason is protection. Visible wealth attracts problems, lawsuits, financial opportunists, people who show up with business proposals, emergencies, or requests. The moment people know how much you have, everyone has an idea for how you should use it. Staying invisible removes that target. Here's something wealthy people report consistently. Once others know about your money, every relationship changes. Friends start treating you differently. Family dynamics shift. New people in your life become harder to trust. Are they here because of you or because of what you have? Hiding wealth isn't just about money. It's about protecting the relationships money can destroy. The second reason is psychological security. Research on what psychologists call secure high status found something fascinating. People who are genuinely confident in their position don't need external signals to confirm it. A billionaire in worn jeans knows exactly who he is. The jeans change nothing. But someone who is insecure about their status, they need the logos, they need the car, they need others to see and confirm what they already know. The truly wealthy have left that need behind. Here's where it gets really interesting. Research has identified a clear pattern. People who are new to wealth tend to display it loudly. People who have had wealth for a long time tend to display it quietly, or not at all. Why? Because the newly wealthy are still communicating something. I made it, I'm not where I was. Look at how far I've come. That message needs an audience, but someone who has been wealthy for decades, they're not trying to convince anyone of anything, they already know. And they know that the people who matter already know too. Here's something that research confirmed. Status-insecure consumers prefer loud branding. Status-secure consumers choose unmarked quality. This means the biggest logos and flashiest displays are often not the signature of the most wealthy. They're the signature of people who want to appear wealthy. The truly rich don't need the logo to do the work. They're already the thing the logo is trying to signal. This psychology has now become a cultural trend. It's called quiet luxury, or stealth wealth. According to the 2024 Deloitte Global Fashion and Luxury Report, high net worth consumers are increasingly choosing what they call intellectual luxury. Rarity, craftsmanship, heritage, over visible logos and hype. Brands that whisper instead of shout, quality that you can feel but can't immediately see. The shift is real. After years of loud logos and influencer excess, the people with the most money are moving in the opposite direction. Here's the truth that all of this points to. Status and wealth are not the same thing. Status is what you signal to others. Wealth is what you actually have. And for most people, the goal is status first and wealth second, because status is immediate. You can feel it today. Wealth takes decades. The people who hide their wealth have made a different trade. They gave up the immediate feeling of status in exchange for something more valuable. Freedom. Freedom from other people's expectations. Freedom from the performance of success. Freedom from having to prove anything to anyone. The drive to display wealth decreases as actual net worth increases. Because the more you actually have, the less you need anyone to believe you do. Here's what this means for the rest of us. Every time someone buys something visible to signal success, they're spending money to manage how other people see them. The hidden wealthy figured out something simpler. Stop spending money on the signal. Start building the actual thing. Because real financial security doesn't need an audience. It doesn't need a logo. It doesn't need anyone's reaction. It just needs to exist, quietly, growing, out of sight. The goal was never to look wealthy. The goal was to be free. Because the quietest lesson about money is often the most powerful one.